All right, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children over the age of 18. Welcome to episode 21 of the Smacktalk Wrestling podcast, Money in the Bank Heat Wave prediction show. I'm joined once again with the king of the wrestling trolls, David, aka Gonzo. How you doing, my man?
Salty still.
Oh yeah, well, Bret Hart wears hearts on his pants. It is what it is. And I'm here with the best online gamer, AOK Gaming. Angel, how you doing tonight, bro?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me again.
All right, for sure. So we got a pretty good show for you guys tonight. We're talking top factions in the WWE, and of course, we're making our predictions for the double PLE weekend for Money in the Bank and NXT Heat Wave. For those of you guys, we go live every Wednesday night, usually at 9:30 Central Standard Time. We're a little late today, or you could just listen to us the next day on Thursday on Spotify. We talk WWE, everything that has to do with WWE, including the Speed Championship that Angel loves so dearly. But that's where you guys can find us. We're live every Wednesday, once again, YouTube and Twitch, and you can listen to us on Spotify on Thursdays right after. So we're just going to get right into it, guys. We're talking factions tonight before we get to our predictions. And let's talk about the Bloodline and the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony that happened Friday night. So we got Jacob Fatu officially with the Bloodline now. What is he called? The Samoan Werewolf. And Solo Sikoa, you acknowledge your tribal chief, guys. Made everyone acknowledge him on Friday night. All right, he's looking like a badass. Everyone could still talk that stuff, but Solo is proving the character development that I got ripped apart on about 10 episodes ago when I picked him for a Pushberry Fire. Go back and watch. I got ripped a new one for pushing him, but there it is. And the one person that didn't acknowledge him, guys, poor Paul Heyman and everything that happened to him. Gonzo, why don't you take us to what happened on SmackDown, man?
So the show starts off hot. You have the Bloodline that arrives immediately into Madison Square Garden. The crowd is already on fire. Paul Heyman is asking questions as to where is Jacob Fatu. The short version is that ultimately Solo tells him, well, he's not here. They go out to the ring. As they're walking up the ramp, all of a sudden there's a cut scene, and then you have the heroes of the show, the Cody Rhodes and the RKOs. They start entering, and there's a complete brawl to start the show. Fast forward, ultimately, the NYPD removes Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, and then also KO from the arena. They're gone for the rest of the night. The show continues. Ultimately, we have the Bloodline in their ceremony. It's an acknowledgement ceremony for the new tribal chief. And this is where Solo, one by one, calls out every member of the Bloodline. They give their spiel. They acknowledge the current tribal chief. And then it gets to the wise man. Now, for those that did not watch SmackDown, Paul Heyman looked awful the entire episode. Eyes are bloodshot red. He's not shaving, so he's letting himself go. As far as the anxiousness and the nervousness, you could see he's tense. It comes to him, and you can see that he's holding the necklace, right, for the tribal one. And he delivers his honesty. He says, "You are not my tribal chief." Shortly after that, a 60-year-old Paul Heyman gets obliterated and gets a triple powerbomb through the announce table, where he laid there lifeless until the show cut.
And a Samoan splash by Jacob Fatu.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we saw Paul Heyman just get annihilated, like Gonzo says, and just absolutely amazing acting.
He got spiked too.
He also got Samoan spiked. He got spiked. The guy got the trifecta of the fuck job, and I'm not one to follow dirt sheets, but according to dirt sheets, Paul Heyman purposely did not go to sleep for 24 hours in preparation for that segment, which why his eyes were so bloodshot.
Give that man another Hall of Fame ring. Just give it to him.
Yeah. So, with everything that just happened, Angel, what's the faction outlook now? So we got no wise man, and we got the Bloodline 2.0, or as Kevin Owens likes to call it, what?
The bootleg bloodline.
Bloodline. So what's the faction outlook right now?
Well, one, there's a potential for a replacement wise man, which would be kind of cool to think about. We'll see. Maybe they won't have one, but it's cool to think about maybe a replacement or something.
I didn't even think of that. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good point. That's a
Yeah.
nice little take there.
a nice little, manager, whoever, the wise man or wise woman, whatever they might be. But there's an opening there for the new bloodline. And then as far as where they're going to go from here, it's going to be really interesting. They go anywhere at this point. I mean, there's so many of them now, and there's probably more coming. If we look at it macro, huge wrestling universe. But so far with these four, I mean, they could do anything. They could be Judgment Day. They can do more than that. They can go for tag team titles. They can go for solo titles. They can go for all the gold. They can do what They could just do what Judgment Day does on Raw. So, but on SmackDown and more, because they get to headline Cody Rhodes matches. So we're gonna see what happens. Obviously, gonna feud right now with the baby faces on SmackDown. I could see them winning. This might be the one time Cody gets to lose right now during this reign, that he's not going to lose the belt anytime soon, obviously. So potential for Cody to take some L's right now, maybe even get pinned. I don't know about that. We'll see. But, and I don't know. I'm excited, though. I think Solo's actually performing now and commanding and
Solo's
doing
him,
what
bro. He's him.
doing what he should be doing if he's trying to take this tribal chief chair. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And obviously, we're going to have that Bloodline Wars whenever that happens.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I feel like
it's going to happen.
I feel like all roads are leading to the Bloodline War. So that leads to my next question. So we already know I feel like that's just what we're going to get, with Paul Heyman saying, "You are not my tribal chief." He's going to be gone until Roman Reigns reemerges. When Roman Reigns reemerges, that's when we're going to see Paul Heyman again. So Paul Heyman's going to get a little bit of rest. How soon this is the final question for the Bloodline for both of you. How soon do we see Roman Reigns come back?
I said on last week's episode we did that you're going to see him at Master in the Bank.
Master in the Bank. I don't know. I think we need
I can't backtrack on what I said last episode.
I don't know if
so
he's done filming whatever he's filming right now.
I think SummerSlam. I think at the earliest.
Right. Yeah, we're in July, right? Yeah. So SummerSlam.
End of August.
What's after SummerSlam? Survivor?
Survivor Series is in November, I think. So we might get I don't know, dude. We might get some BSPLE, to be honest.
Oh, so like Crown Jewel or some shit like that.
A second Crown Jewel?
There is another Crown Jewel coming up.
That was Clash at the Castle. We haven't had Crown Jewel yet.
We had a Crown Jewel earlier in the year.
They're already in Saudi Arabia.
Yep. So all right. So real quick, we got Money in the Bank. We got Money in the Bank, July 6th. We got SummerSlam August 3rd. We got WWE Bash in Berlin August 31st, and then November 2nd, just a few days later, we got WWE Crown Jewel. And then
there you go.
We got
Survivor.
What is it? Survivor Series at the end of November. Yep.
So yeah, I don't see him coming back for those weird PLEs.
So that's what's gonna happen.
It's either gonna be SummerSlam or Survivor, which I put my money on Survivor. I don't know. I just feel like SummerSlam would be cool though. Like if he came back at SummerSlam, that'd be really exciting.
So you think we'd wait? You think we would wait that? We'd wait that long?
Speaking of SummerSlam, but I don't know, man. It's possible, bro. It's possible. They might pull this out because SummerSlam would be great, but then they got to elongate that story all the way to WrestleMania. If he comes back at Survivor Series, that's a much easier story to tell from Survivor Series to WrestleMania, only because of the timing of stuff. I hope he comes back at SummerSlam, though. It'd be way more exciting.
I mean, the fans want him. They're chanting, "We want Roman" every time the Bloodline comes out.
Like for a year. Yeah, it's gonna be like that for the year.
So I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's who would have thought Roman Reigns would get over when he's not here, and everyone was calling for him to leave.
I mean, he was always pretty over, but yeah,
that's crazy. But all right, then moving on, we got Liv Morgan's Judgment Day. All right, so we got Liv Morgan's Judgment Day. A lot of shit happened with the Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw tonight, guys. Once again, as usual, they pretty much dominate Monday Night Raw throughout the entire show. One thing I want to talk. Well, a couple things I want to highlight is what I meant. Dom lies to Damian. I think that is a big thing that we've noticed. So when asked if he's talked to Rhea and if everything was okay by Damian Priest, Dom says, "Yeah, man, everything's cool." And Damian Priest was like, "Oh, really? Because I just talked to her and she's pissed as fuck. So what the hell are you talking about?" And then we see the rest of the Judgment Day, with the exception of Dom. Dom is still putting on this facade that he's like trying to back her off, but the rest of Judgment Day is seemingly accepting Liv, because Finn is appreciative of Liv regaining the tag team titles for the Judgment Day. And we also see Finn and Damian's feud growing. Their interactions as of late, especially this past Monday night, Finn says that Priest is the real issue within the Judgment Day right now, and that he's changed ever since he became champion. And then we see Dom lose to his dad. And then Liv vows to make it up to him. A lot happened on Monday Night Raw. So once again, Gonzo, this time, faction outlook for the Judgment Day right now.
As long as Liv continues to bring the chicky nuggies to the show, I don't think anyone stands a chance right now.
The chicken nuggets. Oh my god, dude!
It's
that
not
tray
even
of
on a
chicken
plate.
Nuggets.
Right? It's on a tray. It's not a plate. It's on a tray.
Nuggets.
So as far as the Judgment Day outlook, we definitely seen fireworks between Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and this was very evident, at least on this most recent show.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to start to get spicy because you're no longer the person that you once were ever since you've won that title.
Well, it's been spicy for Liv Morgan out here, so sending potential nudes and all that good stuff. So I mean, but yeah, it is getting spicy. Another question I wanted to ask. So I don't want to jump too far ahead, but Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. If Damian loses, he's out the Judgment Day. Do you think that he will be out the Judgment Day this weekend? Do you think now's the time? Do you think they wait? Because it pretty much just seems like everyone's starting to turn on Damian, and Damian's pretty much turning on them that he doesn't really need them, So what's that outlook like? When do we finally get the Finn? I feel like everyone is going on. Finn's going to be the one to kick him out or turn on him or what have you. Like, when do we get that? Is that soon? Is that this weekend? Are we going to play it out through the summers?
You're going to get your match at. It's going to be something tied into SummerSlam leading into that.
It's not unless Damian loses, because Gunther's #1 contender and gets his shot at that title at SummerSlam.
You'll have Damian Priest go over Seth Rollins, but as this gets closer then to the Gunther stuff, there's going to be something that ultimately will tip the tide to where Gunther will win because of some type of complication with the Judgment Day. Because that in itself could be really good storytelling, and that can then plant seeds as a possible WrestleMania feud, right?
Okay. Angel, any thoughts on that?
I don't think he loses. I don't think Seth gets it right now. I think they're just showing respect to Seth, giving him, a title match. He sacrificed a lot during that WrestleMania storyline. He got hurt, but he's back, and they're giving him, his time, his shine. I don't think they're giving him the belt back right away. And then as far as the storyline with the Judgment Day, it's tough, bro. You go either way. I feel like we've been getting teased this breakup for so long. This breakup.
I feel like it's been like a year.
Dude, it's been forever, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's all they do.
Yeah.
So even when Rhea was there, it was still like, oh, what's going on? Who's the real leader? Is it Rhea? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just always been there. So Liv could be the straw that breaks the camel's back for them, with the whole Dom thing. And if Rhea comes back, well, how's it going to go? But I don't know. I think right now, if Finn had been in the Money in the Bank match, I'd be way more like, I think it's happening. Finn not being in that match, having the tag team titles, even you saw at the end of Raw, like they walked out together.
I think that was a big L, not having Finn in this Money in the Bank match. That was a big L.
Right. So for me right now, I think they're going to keep playing it off. It doesn't mean they're not going to break up. I just don't know when. Like, I feel like they're going to keep pushing it. And until they absolutely need to break them up, I feel like they're just going to let them keep doing the story and teasing us for
I feel like they were teasing the Otis breakup just last week, and he already fucking broke up from the Alpha, or not the Alpha Academy, but broke up with Chad Garrett. You know what I mean?
He's still there, like, I love you, but I ain't helping you.
Yeah, like he did it quicker from Gable than this has been teased since, like you guys said, forever. So it's like, it's just like we're all on the edge of our seat. Like, hey, man, it's night to night. Will Money in the Bank be the night? So Money in the Bank would be the obvious choice just because of the added stipulation for the title match, and I feel like that could be an opportunity for them to freely kick Damian Priest. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm with you guys. I'm just saying that would be like the obvious time. Be like, okay, yeah, it's going to happen. Money in the Bank. I don't think so either. But I mean, who knows? But I truly wanted Finn to just feud with Damian at some point for the title, because Finn deserves to be in the title picture. I feel like that would just make the added thing to it. But I don't know. We'll see. Another thing that has to do with Judgment Day, obviously Liv's revenge tour. She's been dominating Raw for the past month. She freaking threw out the first pitch at Fenway Park the other day. When does Rhea reemerge?
I don't know. Is she still hurt? Is she back? Is she working out? I haven't seen anything about her. There's zero things that Gonzo, you're Mr. Behind the curtain. What's going on with Rhea, dude? Have you heard?
Behind the curtain.
I appreciate that.
30 for 30 behind the curtain right here. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything about Rhea right now, man. Dave?
I haven't gained any knowledge or information.
Right.
So whatever.
I feel like it's been undercover with her.
The only thing I know is that she got married, and that's it. I mean, I haven't heard shit since. You know what I mean?
And she's going to AEW. So I mean, if you want to throw that out there, might as well at this point.
All right, stop, guy. I mean, the only thing that we've heard just on screen is that Damien has actually talked to her, and that's all we know.
Right.
So maybe that could be some type of
Yeah,
he lied. He lied to Damien's face, and he's like, "Oh, really, motherfucker?" Because we all know, like, so maybe that could be some type of foreshadowing. I mean, I don't know. That she could be coming soon, Money in the Bank, a little after. Who knows? I feel like we got to get Liv. We got to get Liv versus Rhea at SummerSlam, right?
Well,
I mean, is that like the obvious booking?
Right. It's just a matter of when she's going to come back. You think she's going to come back at the end of Money in the Bank, or after that match she comes out with her music, like after Liv wins?
Possibly. I mean,
wait.
So here's a
match. Wait, is Liv defending her title?
No, she's not.
She's not. Yeah.
No.
At the end of Money in the Bank, maybe.
The only thing that I could think of, and I was going to share this, guys, with you. So it has been done a couple times before, where we get the 6 people that are in the match, and then they send out a bonus person, making it a 7th. So I feel like the only way to do it as of right now, like if you wanted to do it where she earns it, as opposed to coming back and saying, I want my rematch or whatever, is throwing her in the match and she wins. Or she comes back the Monday night after, this Monday, and starts building towards that feud.
No, but that wouldn't make sense though, because it needs to be at SummerSlam, and for it to be at SummerSlam, it has to be a pre-organized match.
It has a Money in the Bank winner has had a pre-organized match. John Cena has cashed in his Money in the Bank and says, "I'm facing you next Monday Night Raw. Here's my cash in." So Rhea could go that route. It's only been done once, and we've had a lot of Money in the Bank matches. I'm not saying that's a viable option. I mean, I'm just saying it could happen where Rhea Ripley just calls her shot and be like, "Bitch, I'll see you at SummerSlam."
Because I don't feel like Rhea's storyline would go with,
you know what I mean,
cashing in and stealing it.
Right.
She could, but I don't know. I feel like she wants to like destroy her.
Yeah. So I mean, she could go that John Cena route if she's inserted in the Money in the Bank. I don't think she's inserted in Money in the Bank. I think she just shows up on a Raw. And starts like building for it.
I agree.
Pay-per-views. Pay-per-view reveals.
There's PLEs here. We don't do pay-per-views over here.
I thought Retro was back.
Yeah, but we might. I mean, if we're talking pay-per-views, I mean, Endeavor has already been talking about they want to get rid of the free shit. So,
well, Netflix, we might be pay-per-viewing on Netflix.
Might be pay-per-view for Netflix. So, I mean, we'll see, right? 2025. But anyway, all right, last faction. Once again, we've been talking about the top 3 factions in the WWE right now is David's favorite faction, We got the Wyatt 6. All right. So a little bit of what happened this week with the Wyatts. We had Jay Uso, Yeet, all right, and Gable pretty much promoting this week for the Money in the Bank, staking their claim that they're going to win Money in the Bank. And as Gable was leaving, whose music's playing with the piano keys, David's favorite faction, being taunted by members of the faction at every corner. And then he eventually escapes through the crowd. And then we get another box presented to Michael Cole, which was later to be revealed as another VHS. For those of you guys that don't know what that is, it's what we used to watch movies on. And it seemed as though we had like a second part of an interview. So Gonzo, why don't you take us through that little interview again? I guess we're calling it an interview for himself. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and there's speculation that it's Bo Dallas again, and he's talking to Uncle Howdy, and you have the distorted voice, and it was playing off very similar like it was last week, and it kind of got me irritated at first. I said, "Oh, there's nothing new here," but then after a few minutes, it starts to pick up rather quickly, right? Uncle Howdy starts asking some additional questions, and then he hits him with the line, "There you are." Because you see parts where Dallas keeps it together, but then towards the end of it, you see this animosity and this anger and this rage that start to pop off. We're going to make them remember this is what we did. Look what we have done, right? So he gives a little bit more clues. The video gets all distorted, just like VHS tapes do. For those of you who are unfamiliar with tapes, back in the day, this would be equivalent to like if your Wi-Fi was lagging and all of a sudden like you just started cutting out. So as far as the VHS goes, it was again a wonderfully put together vignette, and I believe that people are speculating that this is being done in the Firefly Funhouse. If you take a look directly back, there's a door, and I think above it says the Funhouse or whatever. And I really started to suspect that because as the video comes to an end, you literally see them talking to one another, and all of a sudden they start phasing out where you only have Bo, and then all of a sudden it's only Howdy, and then they swap sides as to whom they're talking to. So this again is just possibly the inner working of a person going back and forth with themselves. So it was really good to see it again. But if you compare it to last week's vignette was on fire. This one, it was still good, but it wasn't that raw emotion that you had seen the week previously. And then the vignette comes to an end.
So Angel, what was your takeaway on this second video?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce off Gonzo's ideas a little bit, but for sure, last week was more about, I think, when it was extremely intelligent. Not only was it heartfelt, but it was extremely intelligent for the whole story. You have to get Bray's portion of this story. I don't want to say out of the way, but you do have to bring it up, right? Like we can't just bring back all of Bray. This is Bray's world.
Agreed.
Right? And we can't just bring up this world and bring all these characters and everything that he created and just pretend like, oh yeah, but he's gone now. Like you had to bring up the reality of what.
Which was, let me interject for a second, which is why I thought it was so great last week when the question was straight up was like, do you think you're playing off your brother's success? And it was just like, whoa. Like that's a hard hitting question that everyone's like, okay, so now Bo Dallas is the successor taking over. But continue. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Because you get it out of the way. You nip that in the bud. Everyone's gonna ask those questions or like, oh, he's just stealing from his brother, whatever you want to call it. But people could take that stuff negatively, or if you don't bring up Bray, you just pretend like, oh, he just isn't here anymore, which he isn't obviously. But these are his ideas and this is his world. You have to bring up Bray, and that's why it was so great. And obviously raw emotion, his actual brother, so on and so forth. We know that. This was more to me a reimagining of the birth of Uncle Howdy again, kind of vibes is how I saw it.
Okay.
He's talking to Uncle Howdy. This could be almost like this tape was filmed not yesterday. This tape was filmed much farther back as part of the story. And it's Bo, talking to Uncle Howdy because he's going over his emotions of his brother's passing. And now Uncle Howdy's trying to get him back into his world. And they're going back and forth, and their voices actually start to match each other and they start saying the exact same thing at the exact same time, which means they are becoming one. And it's now Uncle Howdy is Bo and Bo's Uncle Howdy. And by the end of that video, they're the same person. And now Uncle Howdy's either possessed him or however you want to call it. But now Uncle Howdy's here and he's born. That's the purpose of the story in my eyes. And it kind of also gave us the idea of what they're trying to do. Like Gonzo had said.
No, that's very good. Yeah.
Because to add on to that,
Yeah.
there was a comment that was made that I let them out of the cave.
Right.
Because with the QR codes, as we
Allegory.
did several episodes, right, the allegory of the cave, this is all you know. Now you're released from the cave, and now you get to see the world for what it really is. And you now have to form your own beliefs and your language and your thoughts as we adventure forward now.
Yep.
Or you just impose what you know onto the unknown, and you force it.
No, 100%. And Bo is all in. He's bought all into the Uncle Howdy world and mindset. Now they're the same person, and he's all in with this mission they're on. You know, they forgot about us. We're gonna show them what they've been doing with Chad, pretty much, and then they're gonna continue from there. So now we know what their purpose is here, back on WWE.
Yeah, I had a very similar takeaway that you just said, Angel, especially with the ending. You pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I had that in my notes as well, where they kind of fused at the end. So I don't think, I mean, I would hope not. I mean, I don't want to keep overplaying this VHS thing. So I don't think we get a tape next week. I hope we don't get a tape next week.
I don't think so.
But yeah, that Angel kind of took the words out of my mouth, have them kind of fusing us to one, and now like that's the persona overtaking Bo Dallas, I guess, if that's what you want to say. So now the Uncle Howdy persona is now Prime Dallas, or fully in control, or possessed, as you like to say, whatever the case may be. But where does Gable fall into this now? So we're getting Chad Gable, right? That's the person that is seemingly being stalked, I guess.
They're gonna show up at Money in the Bank.
Oh, for sure, they're showing up at Money in the Bank.
Gable.
100%.
The lights are gonna go off, and they're just gonna take him or whatever. But he's not winning that match. Sorry, Gonzo.
So does Gable eventually get?
He might not even make it to the ring, bro. He might not make it to the ring.
He might not. So does Gable get a match set? So this is what we keep talking about. So the past couple episodes that we've talked about is the faction outlook, right? That's why we were talking about factions today. That was the basis of this show before we get to the prediction show. Each faction should have an outlook, right? We see other these factions in-ring ability. What we keep saying about the Wyatt Sixes, their in-ring ability and how their story is going to translate. So how is that going to translate in ring? Also with Gable being their first
target
person or target. So where do we go from here with Chad Gable? Does Chad Gable obviously he's trying to get some alliances? We see him begging Alpha Academy to take his side again. I mean, are we going to see some type of tag team maybe? Are we going to see a type of match? And if so, who? Like, how does that translate in the ring? That's the only thing I'm worried about with this faction. Otherwise, everything's been hitting on fire, in my opinion, with this faction right now. It's just how do we translate it into the ring? Is it going to be some type of, like, how do I word this? What are those matches like they did backstage? Remember how like AJ Styles fought the Undertaker, like type of those like cinematic
match,
like those cinematic type matches? Are we gonna get with them, or are they actually gonna be in ring? Is what I was trying to say. You know what I mean? Like how do we get them? Like what do we do here?
In my mind, if I were to just fanboy and use no logic whatsoever, they show up right at the PLE this weekend. If you really wanted to have them, be presented, lose the smoke. If you wanted to ultimately just cut the lights or do the music, that's fine. Leave out that supernatural stuff and just have someone naturally, because there's 4 of them, right? You don't need to do Howdy. You can do the other 4, right? The Harbinger of Pain and the Witch and all this other crap, right? And you just unmercifully beat him. You just take him away to the back and you don't see him. Or he doesn't even make it to the ring, like Angel said. They're doing the music and then all of a sudden there's a complete panic and they just run backstage and you have Gable laying there in his own pool of his blood again. And you have the 4 kind of like standing over him, allowing the crowd to use their imagination. But there doesn't need to be like spooky houses and that crap that Randy Orton did with Bray Wyatt. I I don't know. That was during the COVID era. Do you remember that?
I do.
Where the burned alive match and all that nonsense.
Yeah, that's when he started wearing that outfit that he couldn't even
Mhm.
wrestle. Yeah.
All of that stuff needs to be left to the side. If you were to have characters matching the Dark Knight, the Joker, where you have a very unhinged person that does a lot of questionable things, you could have the Joker, in this case, Uncle Howdy, and then you could have the minions that follow him. They're all deranged individuals that are quote unquote sick. They're not well. If you remember in The Dark Knight, Harvey Dent ends up taking the one individual for a joyride in the ambulance, and then Batman has to interfere and says this is the type of scum that ultimately Joker attracts, mentally ill individuals that will just follow his lead. That is in the world of believability. If you wanted to give the backstory and give a little bit of information to the four as to how they are unhinged, they're unfringed, their overall, view of the world is very much taken to the wayside, and you have them do very reasonable, terrible acts, that to me will flirt on the line of out of the ordinary, but then believable for the audience to really absorb. And you can do some really cool stuff with that, but leaving all of that other stuff that Bray unfortunately got himself in trouble with, the pitch black match, the burned alive match, like all these nonsensical things, you don't need to do all that. If you have unwell people that are just making poor decisions, that in itself is how you could possibly sell this then.
Still, though, at the end of the day, there's going to be a time where they're going to have to take off their masks and they're going to have to wrestle. Right?
And that's my thing.
They're going to have to do a tag team match at some point, even if they're not going for titles. Nobody's saying they need to be title contenders. It's not even about that. But at some point, they have to be more than just ruining people's chances at stuff and or attacking people behind stage.
And that's the whole presence of the Wyatts. Is it was never about wins and losses. It was about a purpose in making a point.
But they still have to wrestle at some point, right? Like,
it's a wrestling show. This is it's not a novella.
Part of this, right?
The good thing, the good thing is though, the four people that they have in this faction, they can all wrestle.
Oh no, for sure. I'm not saying they can't. It's just
how are you
going to get those people in masks and outfits that they're in into a ring with the bell and a ref?
How do you translate their whole cinematic universe? That's what I'm going to call it now. That's the best way I could describe it. How we're gonna translate that cinematic universe in ring ability, because I could just see them every time they fight just a bunch of cinematic bullshit. When you fight Gable, you want to scare him. Smoke comes up under the ring.
Really quick.
You know what I mean?
Quick. If this is extremely difficult and they're paying millions of dollars to writers and Triple H, they got to figure this out. But if it was us instead, how would we do it right now with the story they got going so far? Would you have them fight the Alpha Academy and how would that work?
I personally, right now, from what we've seen so far, obviously Chad Gable's trying to get Alpha Academy, right? So I personally would just reunite them, just because.
You don't have to go into detail. Just it would happen.
Yeah, I would personally just reunite them, because honestly, I don't really see Otis by himself. I don't see Tozawa by himself. You just don't. I'm sorry. So I think the best move right now is to align them against at least the White Six, and then you at least can see them in ring in a 6-man tag, whatever.
But you could do like Gonzo said, right? Gonzo said, Howdy right now is just more of the management, the overseer.
Yeah, you have all those people. You could do a 6-man tag and have them put, or even 4v4.
No,
yeah, you're right.
4 with Uncle Howdy's either wherever he might be, ominous. He could be up in the stands like freaking Sting or something, but whatever. But you got 4-on-4, right? And a woman, right? They match up kind of decently as far as 4-on-4. We just have to somehow figure out how to and then what? You're gonna bring them out to the ring. You would take off their masks, right? They're not wrestling in their masks.
You have to. Even the Wyatts had to take out their mask when it was just the original Wyatt family. And
it's not gonna be a street fight, right? He's not gonna have his little hammer and stuff like that, right? They're gonna actually wrestle.
Yo, that hammer was cool
think?
though.
Is that how you would do it?
They're gonna have to be bruisers though. Like their
No, that's
style.
fine. That's fine.
That's the style. Like I don't need aerial assault, flips,
No.
and gymnastics. Like these are the type of people again that I would like to make it believable for me.
Like Kane
Where
style wrestling.
yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
beat you down, bruisers, because then that's already what Eric Rowan is. He's a big dude that
Right.
can again bludgeon you. That was part of the bludgeoning brothers, right?
Yeah.
And then as far as Gacy, we know Gacy can move and do things. I'm not too familiar with the other guy, Mark. What's his style usually?
What's his name again?
I forgot his name.
Dude,
I'm not too familiar with him.
It's Nikki.
It's Nikki, and like I said, I named the other
Nikki
two.
Cross could go. She's a former champion. She's a former world champion. I mean, she
Yeah.
could fight.
She's gonna have to wrestle in that makeup though. It's gonna be kind of wild. I want to see how that goes.
There's people in TNA that wrestle in like her style of makeup. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if anyone that doesn't have a problem,
But it's like an elite set of makeup.
she's
you know
gonna
what I
be
mean? It's
fine.
not just
Yeah.
Sting where it's just like lines.
yeah,
of white
she'll
things.
be fine.
Like it's actually like.
But I mean, all the wrestlers in there could wrestle without their gimmick. But
Mhm.
the whole thing is translating their gimmick into in ring. That's the problem. And I don't really see them doing an actual straight up match. It's just hard for me to see right now. And I need to wait for the people that actually get paid to do it to translate it, because I can't give you a straight answer on how it's going to happen.
How it would happen, it would have to be, it'd have to be in a way where they like force someone to have a match with them, almost like where they take, is it Pierce? Adam Pierce's Raw, right? They
Yes.
like kidnap Pierce, force him to make a match or something, or tie up Maxine in the ring. I don't know. It's they got to do something, but they have to do it in the ring. It's gonna be tough.
David made a point a couple weeks ago about like Chad Gable atoning for his sins. Maybe some type of maybe some type of match where if Gable wins against whoever, then he's then free of their clutch.
That's a good idea.
You know, maybe
get out of it. How to get out of the haunting of it.
Yeah, you know, like if you beat us or whatever, then that means you've atoned for your sins and you're reborn, or you know.
Well, it's gonna be like old school Saw and Saw 2 vibes, right? If you do A, you are now forgiven.
Cleansed.
You're cleansed. But if you don't, this is then potentially what happens to you.
You know what I don't want? I don't want any. You are now joining you join us, or we keep I don't want them trying to recruit. I really hope they're not trying to recruit people.
They're already too big to recruit. I hope not.
That's what I mean. I hope they're not going to be like, oh, Alpha Academy join. Hope that doesn't happen. They need to just cleanse people, beat the hell out of people. I'd rather see that than them join us, or you're not woke like us, or whatever the fuck.
But as long as they go back to the old school cult dynamic of it again, just
the original part of it, yeah.
I mean, because cults are dangerous in real life. You have people that buy into something and then they're able to do, say, manipulate, present. And the reality is people believe that. They honestly, it's not something that they view as being false or misleading. This is just truly what they believe. And that in itself, if it's within fear or the unknown, we see this in horror films, novels, books, or just in natural disasters. When there's less information, people will do whatever it is in order to survive moments like this, right? So if they play again into these real life situations where we as human beings, we go into flight or flight mode where we run away, we fight, or we freeze. If they continue to build on those basic concepts, again, this is what human beings do. This, again, can go over. And they don't necessarily have to go into the world of the supernatural all too much. Every once in a while, great. But that's where, again, if this is going to be about a wrestling match, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see them wrestle at all until possibly WrestleMania, to be truthful with you.
For WrestleMania?
Whoa, no,
Gonzo,
hell no.
There's no shot.
Hell no, dude. They will lose steam because they were already losing steam when Bray Wyatt was still alive because of all the stuff was in.
Extremely far away.
All I'm saying is that if you wanted to entertain that potentially could not be out of the world of possibilities. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen. But again, it could be done in such a way where a world like that could happen.
I'm gonna have to say that was a bad take.
They're getting introduced slowly, and I'm cool with that. And if they don't actually have a real match, for a couple PLEs, so be it. But WrestleMania, that is
WrestleMania is April, bro. WrestleMania is April 17th, 2025.
Survivor Series, to me, potentially, if you really wanted to see more of them, because Survivor Series fits naturally with what they're pushing for, right?
Of course, yeah.
cleanse, do some things.
Do they automatically get stuck into street fight matches every single time though? Like, do you think they'll actually have like a straight up match ever?
The Wyatts did back in the day.
It's hard for me to see a straight up match. I mean,
the Wyatts did, Gonzo, but they were still more grounded. Right now, this
they were. This is extremely supernatural,
way more cinematic, and way more
supernatural, bro.
Yeah, I guess supernatural, but like they're just out of the realm of wrestle. The wrestling portion is the hard part of what they're doing right now. There's gotta be some sort of writing or plan that's coming that's gonna bring them grounded more. And hopefully with Chad and this part of this story, we can see that more and more, and we'll see what happens. But we need to see, right now they're still mysterious, right? That mystique is going to go away because it just doesn't last in WWE. It just doesn't. Like, not that long. Not for what it is to be a faction in the WWE.
Agreed. Well, let's just leave it at that. Pretty much, we still don't know. Their in-ring outlook is remain to be determined on how we're going to get it. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go here, but that's one. I think we could all agree that that's just the most worrisome when it comes to this faction, and it's kind of the opposite when it comes to other wrestlers trying to get over. Usually, wrestlers do have the in-ring ability. It's just the promo-wise that's lacking. Right now, they got the whole promo-wise and the cinematic scene and the entrance. We just don't know how that's going to translate. So let's just leave it at that for now. And let's move on let's take a little break and play a little Guess the Wrestler, guys. There we go. Guess the Wrestler, week 2. Last week, we had Gonzo's tragic loss in the first ever Smacktalk Guess the Wrestler. It was Bret the Hitman Hart. How he didn't know he wore hearts on his pants is beyond me. But
where's
Angel
the side-by-side? Where's Brett? Where's Sean? Both wearing hearts. That's what I'd like to see right now.
I already proved it to you, buddy.
I understand, but for the crowd, 90 Shawn Michaels wore hearts every
No
single
one's
time.
disputing that. You were disputing that you got screwed, that Bret Hart never wore hearts. That's what you were disputing.
The Smacktalk screw job.
But whatever. All right, so Angel is 1-0. Gonzo is 0-1. So this week I get to go against AOK Gaming, and I'm gonna let David take the reins. He is the host. I will get my timer ready.
Real quick,
and
go ahead. It is one question, then an answer.
That's correct. That's correct. So let me explain to you guys real quick. So for those of you guys that have seen Guess the Wrestler, this is not something I invented. Obviously, we've seen it all through social media. We're just bringing it to our show because we love it so much. But our show is different because we have 3 hosts in comparison to 2, because usually one host would just give it to the other one. But we have 3, so we're going to have matches weekly. So last week, once again, we had Gonzo versus Angel. They had to guess who I was presenting them, and Angel got the first win. So how this works is each person's going to ask a question. It will be yes or no based only. Gonzo will give yes or no if it's correct or not, and then we will automatically have to make a guess regardless of the question. And if we get it, we win. If we not, then the other person goes, and we will have 90 seconds to guess the wrestler. All right, so is everybody made aware? Gonzo, do you have your Guess the Wrestler ready, and it is an adequate choice?
That's what you're focused on, huh?
Yeah.
Mind games are ready the second I was given this power.
The buzzer to go off.
All right. And lastly, guys, for those of you guys listening or watching, feel free to hit the comments and guess along with us. Say whoever you want. And once again, message any one of us, and maybe we'll choose your wrestler for Guess the Wrestler the following week. All right, so Gonzo, whenever you're ready, just tell me go. Angel, you could ask a question first since I have to start the time, okay? So Gonzo, you let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the time.
The reigning, defending champion. Oh, Christ. All right, we'll start this up in 3, 2, 1, go.
Did they wrestle in WCW?
No.
Is it The Rock?
Nope.
Are they currently active?
No.
Ooh. D'Lo Brown?
Nope.
Are they over? No. Did they hold the WWE title?
No.
No.
Were they primarily a singles competitor?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean that's kind of a trick question. So yes and no.
Did they hold a tag team title?
Well, Mark's got to give me his guess first.
Oh,
Edge.
No.
Okay.
So that's your question. Tag team? Yes. Multiple
They-
times.
is it Jeff Hardy?
No.
Were they part of the big three of our era when it comes to the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, and Edge and
No.
Christian?
No.
Ooh. Tag team
Was-
title. Hold on, I gotta guess. Animal.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say that, dude. Holy smokes. Multiple tag team titles.
20
Oh,
seconds.
Go ahead, Mark. I gotta skip. I don't have a question off the top of my head.
Were they ever in a faction?
Yes.
Shawn Michaels.
No.
Is it Owen Hart?
No.
Wow, we just got this fuck job. Time. Final guesses. Angel, you get one final guess, one final question. I get one final guess, one final question.
You first. I just went.
Tag team competitors. They
Are we
were
guessing one wrestler or the faction though?
So they were part of a faction. They were again singles wrestler, right? You know,
Okay.
this person, as I said, they were able to acquire the World Tag Team Championships twice. They were also able to acquire the WWE Tag Team Championship once. So that's the information that I can provide at this moment.
And they're not active, you said.
They are not active. No.
You said it was not in a faction? I forget that.
They
Is
are.
that what you said?
Yes.
They were in a faction, you said? Okay. Were they in DX?
No.
Oh shit. What the hell, dude? All right, my
smokes.
final guess would be tag teams.
They weren't one of the big three. That's crazy.
I don't know, bro.
They weren't in WCW.
And they weren't in WCW.
This is tough.
This is fucking this guy giving us some.
You're gonna be very upset when I tell you. If you had asked a certain question, it would have made it a lot easier.
They're not active. We should have asked what era they were in or what decade they wrestled in. That's where we messed up.
If they're not active, it's definitely the Attitude Era. I mean,
the
Attitude Era tag team. I already said D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown.
Okay, I got my guess. But
The Godfather.
You already guessed. You can't guess again.
I didn't guess. What are you talking about?
Oh, they never held the WWE title. You said
The Godfather. That's my final guess.
No, Godfather's not right.
And they never held the WWE title. You said, right?
No, never a WWE title.
Wow, Gonzo gave us the fuck job, dude. All right,
this is extremely difficult. They didn't wrestle WC. I keep thinking of WCW guys. I cannot think of a WWE guy right now.
I hate this kid, dude, because it's probably someone that
you didn't ask the right questions.
Whatever.
All right. Wow.
Just take a guess. We can move on because we're facing each other next week. Thanks to this
weren't
asshole.
even in DX. DX was like half the freaking roster. Wow, I can't even think of someone at this point.
Just say a name so we can move on. Because he just gave us the fuck job.
No WWE title. Bro, I have to pass. I don't know.
You just say a name.
I can't. Everyone that I think of held the WWE title. I was gonna say the Brothers of Destruction. I was gonna say the Steiners. I was gonna say all these different people, but none of them fit this description. I can't think of anybody.
All right, so he voids. Who is it, Gonzo? You little asshole.
So, as far as guess the wrestler, this person debuted in 1985.
Jesus Christ, I'm freaking.
They debuted with WWE in 1992. They came back in 1998. When they came back in 1998, they were able to form with Too Cool. They were able to hold the IC title as far as a two-time world champion and a one-time WWE champion. Ultimately goes into a singles match and retires from WWE in 2004. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer in 2015 with WWE, and it is Rikishi is the wrestler.
Wait, you said he didn't hold the title?
Not the WWE Championship. I said the IC title.
And then what did you say after that? Didn't you say he held the WWE title?
No, tag champions. The WWE Tag Team
Oh,
Championship,
tag team champions. Okay, I thought you
and
said
then the World Tag Team Championship.
I hate this kid. All right, so me and Gonzo gets to host again next week.
She isn't a bad one to pick. It was just we
Yeah.
got stuck on the tag team part.
Yeah,
of it.
we did.
And,
So next week, me and Angel will face off again. Gonzo will play host with his bullshit antics.
It's not my fault you ask poor questions.
I'm gonna mute you. You're pissing me off. All right,
Mark, did we just get a tie then?
Yeah, it's a draw. It's a draw. So now you're 1-0-1 and I'm 0-0-1. But David still has an L. So I'm still better than David.
In the overall standings, David, you're still last.
Yeah, you're still last. I'm in the middle. Angel's still number 1. So he still got the speed championship.
Never lost.
All right, it wasn't bad. We didn't ask the right questions. He's a but fuck your anticipation. All right, moving on. We got Money in the Bank this weekend, the first of 2 PLEs. So we're gonna give you our predictions, and we'll close out the show. So here we go. We got the Bloodline versus RKO is what they call themselves, and Cody Rhodes. Gonzo, who you got?
Oh man. Well, as far as that goes, oh Lord, we're gonna give L's to the good guys. Why not?
Okay. Angel, who you got?
Yeah, like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I think this is one of the times you could actually have Cody lose during this title reign, and it's not killer, and they're outnumbered, and yeah, I think it's they're gonna lose. I got the Bloodline winning this match.
All right, I got the Bloodline winning, but more specifically, Cody gets pinned by Solo to set up their SummerSlam title match.
Yeah, I think it's a time where he can get pinned. Like I said that earlier as well. I think it's definitely possible for sure.
All right, next match, we got the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn defending against Braun Breaker. Gonzo. Go ahead. Go ahead, Angel.
No, Gonzo.
Let Angel go. No, let Angel go.
I just wanted to say this was actually that promo between them was actually way more interesting than the IC titles had since Gunther had it. Like, I actually really enjoyed Braun, and he sounded like a Steiner. His voice got like Scott.
Oh yeah,
Steiner.
He sounds like his uncle all day.
Yeah, I was like, holy smokes, he sounds just like his uncle. This is crazy.
Yeah, all day.
And it was cool. And Sammy actually had really good comments back at him, and there was a little bit of respect there, but also beat the shit out of each other a little bit. I liked it. I have Braun winning this though. I think Braun deserves this title right now. I don't know why. It's so early in his little career so far, his little run as a WWE, full brand WWE star, but people want to see him wrestle. And Sammy, I think he's been doing an okay job, but I don't know. It's time for him to lose it.
Gonzo.
Braun Breaker is winning.
Braun Breaker is winning. He's been built to be the guy right now. And as we get closer and closer to the Netflix era, which will be centered around him, this will be his first step into superstardom until we get to 2025.
Well, I mean, even if you looked at it like this will be quick. Is Braun Breaker's not a good guy. He's doing a bunch of terrible things to people. And so therefore, what heat could you then get on this guy even more? You give him the strap. Because again, you're not building to have him go through all these trials and tribulations like you would want someone who is quote unquote a face, like a hero, right? To go through all these things. Nope, we're just going to give it to you. Squish everybody, do it in a convincing way. And so far, that's what I'm going to say in that regard.
Cool. All right. The World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest defends against Seth freaking Rollins. Gonzo?
We're going to go with the champ. Champ's going over. As far as Rollins, unfortunately, it's not going to be a victory for him on this night. Damian Priest continued the story.
Angel?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I think Damian wins this. Seth is getting his time, his return. Gets to put on a good match with the champ, a good wrestler, his opponent. But it's just not Seth's time right now, unfortunately, for him. Damian's keeping this. It's going to push the story. Damian's attached to a lot of stories right now, and he's going to be even more stories at SummerSlam, I believe. So he's keeping it.
All right. I agree. Another sweep. I think Damian retains, but there will be more Judgment Day shenanigans. I think he barely retains. We're talking like maybe roll up or like a last second little South of Heaven choke slam, desperation. Like we're talking like this guy's. We were thinking he's gonna lose, but he actually retains.
Mm-hmm.
All right, women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Chelsea Green versus Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria versus Naomi versus, shockingly, Tiffany Stratton. I didn't think she was going to make it, versus Zoe Stark. Angel, who is your women's Money in the Bank winner?
Dude, I've been wrestling with this, no pun intended, with this decision since I saw Tiffy win her match. I don't know who's going to win between her and Chelsea. I cannot pick one. To me, it has to be one of those two. I want it to be those two. I don't even care what the company or the story says it should be. I want it to be Tiffany or I want it to be Chelsea. I'm going to go with Tiffany just because, this is so hard. I'm going to go with Tiffany because her heat is just crazy still, even to this day. Even when they try to drown her out for a month or so, I still think Tiffy's she's over.
Gonzo?
I mean, Angel just took the words out of my mouth.
Is it Tiffy time?
Is it Tiffy time? I only care about Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton, and then Valkyria's in third. Yeah, so, same. I mean, if you wanted storytelling, you could have Io Sky win it to have a rematch versus Bailey, but
no.
I want the new rush of young talent. So. Oh man, as far as being entertained, we're gonna go with Chelsea Green. I just want to be entertained.
Yeah, Chelsea would be a good pick too. Though.
We are all torn between the same two women. Unfortunately, Lyra's just gonna have to take a backseat to these chicks.
Yeah, I like Lyra too, but I agree.
It's hard for me because I do want to say Tiffy time, but that crowd eruption that we saw at SmackDown last week, guys, for Chelsea Green is kind of undeniable. And if WWE didn't listen to that crowd in Chicago of Chelsea winning, I don't know, man. But I'm gonna go Chelsea Green on this one. I don't think it's Tiffy time yet. I think Tiffy time's gonna have to wait.
Was Chelsea's matches with Bianca?
Chelsea had the Bianca on that one, yeah.
That's a pretty big win, man. Yeah, it might be Chelsea, bro. It might be.
So I'm going Chelsea Green as the women's Money in the Bank carrier. All right, and the last match of Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Jey Uso versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade, the Speed Champion, versus Chad Gable versus LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. Angel, who is Mr. Money in the Bank?
It should be LA Knight, but it won't be. It will be Jey Uso because he's literally made this his whole personality. Is this match, and I feel like they've pretty much shoved it down our throat that Jey Uso's getting this thing and he's going to be carrying it every week and yeeting with it, and that's just what's happening. It should be LA Knight though, but whatever.
Gonzo?
Can't have a SmackDown superstar win.
Right, you can't.
That is correct.
There you go.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
That's right. Yeah, a SmackDown superstar is pointless to win that. Brief. I didn't even think of that.
Technically, when you have the briefcase, you could jump shows.
Technically, yeah.
But it's not going to happen. Gonzo, so who's winning? Yeet Nation?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I like Jay, but
I'm in agreement with Angel. It should be LA Knight, but we're getting LA Knight versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam.
Yes, we are.
So that's what we're getting. So we are gonna go with. That's why I wore his shirt tonight. We're getting Yeet Nation. He's gonna yeet for a damn year with that thing because they don't know when he's gonna cash in.
They don't, man. He's gonna be the case.
Yep.
He might, yeah. New United States champion.
Damn, dude. They could never.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. All right. Last prediction part before we close out, guys. We also have NXT Heat Wave this Sunday. So let's get right into it. We have the pre-show, which no one cares about.
Yeah, I saw this when they made this. I was like, what's the point of this?
We got Ariana Grace versus Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovic versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix.
Because they're from Canada, that's why.
That's correct. So I think Toronto. Yeah, so who wins, guys?
It's Toronto.
The pageant queen.
Yeah, so the Team Toronto. All right, cool.
Toronto, yeah.
Team Toronto.
Team Drake. Team Drake.
All right,
6'5".
next we got the
Not bad.
Women's North American Championship. We got Angels Girl Soul Ruka
Of all the girls I like in NXT, Soul has never been one of
go
them. Okay.
going against Kalani Jordan. Who wins? Angel.
I think it's Kalani.
Okay, you're not even gonna pick your girl.
No, I'm not. No, she hasn't been my girl once in any match. She has a cool finisher. It looks cool on TV.
Gonzo, who wins North American
Kalani.
title match?
Kalani Jordan.
All
Yeah.
right, clean sweep for Kalani. All right, next we got the Women's NXT Championship. We got Lola Vice versus the ever hot Roxanne Perez, who's been carrying this women's division. But Lola
her
Vice is
promo
hot,
game was
guys.
her promo game was kind of off.
The
This past
this whole past NXT was ass. But
her
go
promo
on.
fell apart. Roxanne.
Who's Roxanne's? I thought
Yeah.
Lola's was terrible.
No, Roxanne forgot her words, and Lola had to save her.
Lola's Vice couldn't even talk on the damn thing, bro.
She was waiting for Roxanne's cue. She
couldn't talk throughout the damn promo, is what I'm saying.
Well, 'cause she was crying. That was
No.
part of her story.
She was trying to cry.
Okay, she didn't forget her words like Roxy did.
I agree. All right, so who wins the match?
Lola was winning.
Okay, Lola. Gonzo?
Do you have J-Lo winning? Oh, man. Well, I'm going to go with Pop Rocks. So Pop Rocks is going to take this home.
Lola Vice, since losing the breakout tournament match when she cashed in against Roxy, has been on a tear. She's been all these special matches. I think it's Lola Vice's time to win.
I don't
Go
see
ahead.
anyone wearing any Roxy shirts. Just saying.
No one buys anything from NXT.
Oh, Lola's shirts are everywhere.
Yeah, because she shakes her ass.
But she's selling T-shirts. That means she gets a belt. That's how
Oh,
weird
really?
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Unless
One
they're
second.
LA Knight.
I was about to
Unless
say,
they're
yeah, I was about to say,
No,
bro.
no,
I'm
he
like,
gets
LA Knight's the top merch seller right now. This
Yeah,
guy
no,
got jack shit.
No,
Dude.
he gets screwed.
All right, Lola Vice, clean sweep. Oh wait, not clean sweep.
No,
He
no,
picked Roxy.
I had-
He picked Roxy.
No, he picked
I did.
Roxy.
All right. The men's North American Championship, Obafemi defends against Wes Lee. The added stipulation here: if Wes Lee loses, he cannot challenge for the championship as long as
It's
Oba
like stipulation season.
is champion. So Gonzo, who wins, Oba or Wesley?
I'll die on this mountain. It's always Oba to me.
Agreed. Got Angel.
I honestly,
Oh, don't say
it
it.
should be Oba, but I could see them screwing him over and giving it to Wes.
It better
being,
not
like,
be.
I could see it happening. Like, I don't know. It was just that
You're gonna
whole little
deny the
promo they
moves?
had with each other, and how Wesley like had to fight back to get back into like. I don't know. I could see them screwing over Oba, but I'm gonna take Oba because it should be Oba.
All right, Oba better be Oba. Oba all the way. Call him up already. All right. The NXT Tag Team Championship, we got Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus Chase University. Angel, who wins?
It's gonna be Axiom and Frazier because Frazier lost his speed championship or qualifier match.
Gonzo, who wins?
Yo, I got insider information. You guys didn't even
We'll
know
get
that.
there.
I just
We'll get
blew-
there.
I just
We'll
blew
get
your
there.
minds right now. You had no idea.
Oh,
You guys had
my
no
God.
idea I was coming with that heat. You didn't know. You thought I
Well, with
was
that
already-
insider, we're gonna go with Chase U. They're gonna dethrone the tag
I'm
champions.
going with Chase U. We're going to further the storyline that Nathan Frazier has been distracted, and that's when they'll drop the championships
with
to
the
Chase
speed
U.
title.
The
He
U.
lost it. He's pissed.
All right, and we got the main event. The men's NXT Championship. Trick Williams defends against Ethan Page, Sean Spears, and
Such a weird-
young OG Javon Evans.
Fatal four-way.
Fatal four-way. Gonzo, who wins?
Man, let's see here. Give me that little image again. Let me take a look at these wonderful faces real quick. So, it's gonna be Trick.
All right. All that for fucking some trick, bro.
For just a repeat.
Well, I just wanted to look into the other individuals' eyes and to really see if they're going to be geared up Lola Vice style for this,
All right,
since they've
Angel.
been batting and bruised.
Okay.
Angel Fatal four-way. Who wins?
Oh my god! After that promo set on stage of the
If-
contract signing, It better be Trick Williams. The rest of them,
Don't you
I
dare
just don't
say
see.
Javian Evans. Don't you
No,
dare say it.
no. The rest of them just they can't hold. They can't carry the NXT base right now. Trick is the only one that
All
can
right.
carry that title.
Okay.
In my
All right.
opinion.
You need to calm your ass down for a second.
You think Ethan Page can do that?
I do not tolerate any Ethan Page slander. All right. Ethan Page is him, and I will keep saying it. Freaking AEW fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not saying he won't be a good talent. I'm saying today on Sunday.
He's not winning, but if he won, I wouldn't be mad at it. If he won, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be mad at it. But
okay, how about this? If it's not Trick, it's Ethan. It better not be the other two.
No, it's not gonna be the other two.
Yeah, it can't be the other two.
I don't even like Sean Spears. I'm glad he's
yeah, me either. I don't like
Javon Evans is dope though. He's bouncy.
No, he's cool, but he's not there yet. Ethan
Page slander will not be tolerated on the show.
God. I'm just saying Trick is the only one that could carry the company right now.
But Trick Williams has only had one title defense. So if he loses this weekend, it would be the worst.
How terrible
NXT.
Would it be if he doesn't even get pinned? Like that'd be awful.
It would be the worst NXT championship title run in NXT history. So I'm going with Trick Williams because they cannot do that man dirty. So yeah. All right, guys. So that does not conclude. That concludes our guessing our predictions. So before we close out the show, Gonzo, do you have any final thoughts on anything? Doesn't matter if we talked about it or not. Final thoughts for tonight.
I can charge you $1 per question if you want to be properly coached for your next week's Guess the Wrestler.
All right, we're meeting him.
You muted yourself.
I know I did. All right, Angel, I'm not going to ask you for a final thought. We all know what he wants to talk about. Angel, final thoughts on the Speed Championship. What's going on? I know you want to talk about it. This is your time.
It's very quick. There's not much to say. Friday will be Xavier Woods versus Andrade. Andrade's dropping that title because he has to be in the Money in the Bank match, and Xavier Woods got nothing going on except fighting the Cross people. The Final Testament. So. Xavier's winning on Friday.
The Cross people. I thought he said lacrosse. I was like, what?
No, the Cross. The Cross peeps. They try to break Kofi's arm.
Okay.
Anyways, he's winning the Speed title, and you're never going to hear about it again because the only one that talks about it was Frazier, and he lost. So he was the only one that actually mentioned it on another show besides Speed. The only time you've ever heard the word Speed title has been on NXT in the locker room. But, yeah.
I mean, Michael Cole talks about it.
Yeah, when
and so does Corey Graves.
Yeah, because when the ad comes out and they say watch Speed this Wednesday, that's it. Okay, fine. Besides the announcers that are forced this.
So what would you do to improve the Speed division? I guess we'll call it.
Improve it? Just talk about it more. They don't even have to do that much different. As far as like the matches, if you actually watch the Frazier Xavier Woods match, it was actually pretty good in the beginning. Like the first minute and a half, they were rolling. They were outside the ring. They were going on the ropes. I mean, Frazier does that. What's that corkscrew finisher he has?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
he did that like 3 times. But at the end of the match, it slowed down so much that you knew who was going to win because there was only like 40 seconds or like 30 seconds left, and Xavier was the only one standing up. So you're like, oh, okay, well, it's over now. Because if the timer runs out, they both lose. So I guess once that happens, it'll be kind of cool and interesting, whatever. But it kind of ruins the tournament. But anyways, they need to just talk about it more and let them carry it on the damn show. That's it. If Andrade if he wins on Friday and on Saturday he doesn't, if he wins on Friday and he doesn't show up Saturday with the belt over his shoulder again for the millionth time of this damn thing, they're ruining their own freaking promotions. I don't get it. Like, get rid of it then.
Agreed. All right, my final thoughts. We got DIY getting a tag team title shot this Friday night, which will only be the second time the SmackDown tag team championships are being defended.
This is Marc's been that mine is the Speed title. Marc's
so my final thought is not really a thought, it's a statement because I know Triple H watches our show religiously. Book the fucking tag team division. Other than that, guys, Gonzo, where can we find you?
Oh, man, I think you're going to cancel me. So who knows at this point? As far as where you can find me, it's going to be YouTube. It's going to be on TikTok, Instagram. Those are going to be the primary locations. And so it'll be the raising_personalities. And as far as the Twitterverse or the Xverse, whatever it is that you want to refer to it as, I'm on there very rarely, but that's I'm gonna have to rethink my life. I'm the troll. I get muted every 2 seconds now.
Wrestling troll. Wrestling troll.
Wrestling troll. I mean,
King of the trolls. I'm the kingpin. You're the pro wrestling kingpin. You're the king of the wrestling trolls.
Honestly, I think I was just born to piss people off. So this is just perfect. Everything I do.
He is fitting his persona with his BS. But once again, me and Angel will face off again next week for Gonzo's crap. But it is what it is. I still have a better record statistically than Gonzo. So that's cool. Angel, tell everyone where we can find you and what you got going on.
You could find me right here at AOK or AOK, but at @A_OK Gaming on Twitch, Kick, X if you want to see some speed matches.
God.
No, but for real. And then find me on there playing games. Right now it's mostly been Siege or FIFA or FC. Marc downloaded Streets of Rage, right?
Yo, that's just lit.
It's downloaded for me.
It is so good.
Download you guys should download Among Us too. Look
yeah, you told me that. I will.
It's free. It's like a game we could play together, and it's just like for fun. Where it's like who's the killer type game, like who did it.
Gotcha.
Really fast. But anyways, that's where you can find me.
All right, cool. You could find me on all social media. Once again, guys, pro_wrestling_kingpin. I am very active on X when it comes to PLEs or when I watch AEW on Wednesday because I'm off on Wednesdays, so I'm able to tweet a lot more live. It's very rare I watch a live show. Usually I watch everything on replay. But this weekend I should be active on Saturday for Money in the Bank. It's personally one of my favorite I was going to say pay-per-views, PLEs, so I will be very active. So make sure you guys come. We'll talk about it. We'll break down the match. But like I said, pro_wrestling_kingpin. And once again, guys, you could find this show live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube or Twitch. Or you could listen on Spotify tomorrow on every Thursday. It is uploaded to the Spotify app. If you guys are a new follower, let us know, comment what you guys like. DM us if you guys want us to use your Guess the Wrestler in the following week, or if you want to push Berry Fire, that game still exists too. So let us know what you guys want to do. The more engagement we get, the more appreciative we are, and the more we'll grow. So once again, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Acknowledge your tribal chief.